Cohasset, Massachusetts, stands as an affluent coastal suburb of Boston, marked by historic homes, ocean views, and median house prices well into seven figures. In this enclave of manicured lawns and postcard-perfect facades, Ana Walshe disappeared on January 1, 2023, from the family home she shared with husband Brian Walshe and their three young sons, aged 2, 4, and 6. Initial accounts positioned the 39-year-old real estate executive's absence as a work emergency trip to Washington, D.C., via Logan International Airport around 4 to 5 a.m., but verification swiftly dismantled this narrative. No airline records, no rideshare pickups, no employer crisis confirmation. For 5:55 a.m. that day logged a Google search on a shared family iPad. How long before bodies start to smell? Followed at 4:58 a.m. by ways to slow natural decomposition, 5:20 a.m. for preservation techniques for human remains, and 5:47 a.m. querying emergency options for handling a deceased person when absolutely necessary. These entries predated police contact, aligning with dawn disposal of 10 garbage bags, holding a vital fluid-soaked Prada handbag, hunter boots, COVID-19 vaccination card, and chopping tool into pre-collection dumpsters. Brian Walshe, under federal home confinement with GPS ankle monitor for prior art fraud, faced scrutiny as Tishman Speyer reported Ana missing on January 4th. Preceding his own filing, she trusted her husband, it cost her life. Sel Peng stayed near Cohasset on January 1st and 2nd. His calm demeanor during Officer Gregory Lawrence's welfare check struck as anomalous. Surveillance later captured January 2nd Home Depot purchases. $4.50 cash for mops, tarps, Tyvek suit hatchet, baking soda, masked and gloved. What hidden rage drove such calculated erasure? Peabody facility recoveries yielded bags with analinked items and partial DNA markers. Degradation qualified yet presumptively sourced. Financial motive surfaced. Brian's sole beneficiary of her $2.7 million life insurance policy amid his legal woes. Trial in Norfolk Superior Court ended December 15, 2025, with first-degree murder conviction. Life without parole sentence December 18. No body found. Evidentiary thresholds met circumstantially. Ankle data, digital trails, basement blood pools, blade residues converged despite forensic caveats like contamination risks. This saga exposes domestic betrayal beneath success's gloss, motive tied to inverted dependencies, Ana's ascent versus Brian's fraud stasis. Chronological digital playbook from December 27, divorce queries escalated to post-event luminol searches, evidencing forensic awareness. Public records reserved 2014 D.C. threat report, dropped via non-cooperation. Investigations shifted January 8 arrest for misleading, escalating to murder indictment. Automatic appeal looms. Probability low absent exculpations. Core questions linger. Timing precise remains fate, full motive scope. Ana Walshe, born on a Nop in Belgrade, Serbia, stood 5 feet 2 inches tall, weigh about 115 pounds, with brown hair, striking brown eyes, and olive complexion at age 39 when she vanished January 1, 2023. Immigrating to the United States in 2005, she earned an undergraduate degree from the University of Belgrade, then a master's from Cornell University, forging a multilingual prowess in English, Serbian, and more that fueled her corporate ascent. Starting in hospitality, she climbed to regional general manager at Tishman Speyer, one of global real estate's powerhouses, managing multi-million-dollar D.C. portfolios from a $1.3 million Logan Circle townhouse, while weekend commuting to Cohasset, Massachusetts, for family duties with husband Brian Walshe, married 2015, and sons aged 6, 3, and 1. This bifurcated life epitomized her drive, sole earner sustaining their 7-figure home amid Brian's self-styled art dealings, later exposed as defunct LES firm where he claimed CFO title, featured superficially in Boston Magazine and Globe, a $2.7 million life insurance policy named Brian beneficiary, underscoring her financial pillar role. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Yet shadows loomed. 2014 Washington, D.C. Police report detailed Ana alleging Brian threatened her and friends' lives over phone amid argument. She later refused cooperation. Case dropped. Evidentiary threshold unmet. Public profiles beam perfect power couple facade. Ana's social media curating flawless motherhood. Professional triumphs from immigrant roots. Colleagues knew her as responsive powerhouse. Glued to devices for global oversight. No unannounced silences fit patterns. Marital strains hinted in Brian's trial admissions. Work stress, Cohasset distance. His house arrest burdens post. 2021 fraud guilty plea. Recent Serbia trip extended from maternal visit spark resentment. He claimed January 5th interrogation. No infidelity admissions. Firm denial were suicide or flight. Forensic irrelevance pre-disappearance. Victimology-centered documented poise. Overall theory posits narcissistic inversion. Ana's superiority humiliated fraud convicted dependent Brian, echoing paternal dissownment in 2018 will. Best wishes but nothing else, citing sociopathy, million-dollar swindles. Motive crystallized in policy payout potential. Freedom from her oversight. One most haunting question. Why did brilliant, threat-aware Ana wed and remain with her documented danger? Trauma bonds, facade pressures, maternal traps, immigrant triumph denial. Chronology. Belgrade birth. 2005 U.S. entry degrees career ladder. 2015 vows despite red flags. 2022 Discord peaks. Post-vanishing silence. No Serbia calls, friend texts, child check-ins. Alien a devoted profile. Tishman alert January 4th preceded Brian's report. Her D.C. townhouse barren sands entry signs. Trial testimony preserved agency. Yet tragedy hinged relational undercurrents. Evidentiary nuances absent physical traces here. Focus behavioral norms. Public reporting affirmed dedication. No voluntary exit indicators. This backdrop reveals accomplishment laced with undetected peril, where evidentiary gaps and past threats enable progression to fatal dawn. Deeply, her story indicts overlooked warnings in polished lives. Brian Walsh initially recounted to police and family that Ana received an urgent work call between 4 and 5 a.m. on January 1, 2023, prompting her to kiss sleeping sons goodbye, summon rideshare to Logan International Airport, and depart for Washington, D.C. Crisis at a managed property. This account, disseminated post-New Year's dawn, aligned superficially with her executive demands, but collapsed under routine verification. No airline manifest listed Ana Walshe. Uber or Lyft log showed 0 pickups from Cohasset address. Tishman Spire supervisors confirmed no emergency awareness. Cell phone pings registered near family home January 1st and 2nd, negating travel vector. Employer welfare check January 4th preceded Brian's missing persons filing. Anomalous delay for spouse of 3 young children. Google queries on shared iPad commenced December 27, 2022. What is the best state for divorce for a man? Signaling antecedent marital fracture considerations 5 days prior. Escalation hit January 1st at 4:55 a.m. How long before bodies start to smell? 4:58 a.m. ways to slow natural decomposition. 5:20 a.m. preservation techniques for human remains. 5:47 a.m. emergency option for handling a deceased person when absolutely necessary. Timestamps bracketed alleged exit window, predating police contact. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Brian's federal ankle monitor imposed post 2021 art fraud plea. Log January 1st Swanscott maternal visit for post-surgery errands at Whole Foods, CVS. Uncorroborated by store surveillance. Alibi frayed by GPS deviations and sell-off claims. Marital tensions surfaced January 5th interrogation. Recent Serbia vacation extension for Ana's mother visit bred resentment. Work stress, D.C. commute strains. His house arrests loomed as stressors. No morning argument for Brian, time insufficient. Yet 2014 D.C. threat report lingered. Dropped via non-cooperation. Evidentiary threshold unmet. Post-event digital trail query formaldehyde. 11:34 a.m. January 1st, cutting apart and best way to dispose of a body. Then, how to clean blood from wooden floor, luminol to detect blood. Evidencing forensic countermeasures awareness. No text to friends, Serbia family calls. Child check-ins deviated from responsive norms. Officer Gregory Lawrence, January 4th welfare check met calm, cooperated Brian. Described, very calm under circumstances. Omitting proactive alerts. Timeline slippage from 4:05 a.m. to 6:07 a.m. last sighting, false employer contact claims. Overall theory framed premeditated rupture. Narcissistic dependent Brian, facing 30-month sentencing and paternal disinheritance, resented Ana's financial dominance. $2.7 million policy payout, promising liberation from inverted power. Digital playbook suggests execution amid sleeping children. Alibi fabricated post-act. One most haunting question. What precise spark? Argument fragment. Rejection whisper. Ignited 4:55 a.m. searches. Transforming contemplation to corpse disposal calculus. Chronological seams expose passivity. 72 hours silent till employer prompt. No self-harm flight theories held per Brian's denial. Evidentiary voids and direct witness bridged by digital material convergence later. Deeply. This prelude unveiled the trail's quiet prelude, where routine dawn hit irreversible fracture. Cohasset Police welfare check arrived January 4, 2023, at Walshe residence. Officer Gregory Loran, noting Brian Walshe's Volvo station wagon with rear seats folded flat and prominent plastic liner visible in cargo area, consistent with containment preparations. Brian greeted officers calmly, reiterating travel alibi already contradicted by absent airline and rideshare records. Return search January 5 revealed vacuum carpet traces, suggesting recent aggressive cleaning. Liner discarded per Brian's casual account. Yet forensic swabbing detected blood residues yielding partial DNA markers, presumptively linked to Ana Walshe, qualified by degradation and contamination risk from post-exposure handling. Basement yielded pools of vital fluid, fractured blade edge with residue, second intact blade nearby. Lab analyses confirm human origin, partial profiles aligning temporally with disappearance though not uniquely matched absent full reference standards. Peabody Transfer Station intervention intercepted shredder-bound dumpsters from Brian's January 3rd circuits, recovering 10 garbage bags with vital fluid-saturated towels, rags, area rug fragments, duct tape segments, blue gloves, plastic tarp remnants, all materially consistent with January 2nd Home Depot acquisitions. Inside rested Ana's hunter boots, Prada handbag heavily stained, necklace fragment, COVID-19 vaccination card bearing her name, definitive identity anchors discarded amid disposal kit, chopping tool, hatchet from cash purchase, recover alongside white Tyvek suit. Interior wrist and arm cuffs tested positive for Brian and Ana DNA mixtures. Exterior biological remnants profiled to her, indicating contact during alleged segmentation and cleanup. Forensic service noting partial markers reliability despite waste processing hazards. She trusted her husband. It cost her life. Surveillance from Rockland Home Depot January 2nd captured mast. Glove Brian pushing cart with mops, industrial brushes buckets, extra large tarps, Tyvek complete with boot covers and goggles hatchet, 20 pounds baking soda, $4.50 cash transaction evading traceability. 5:32 p.m. street cam showing glove mask discarded into Volvo. Ankle monitor logged Abingdon apartment complex dumpster, Eve January 3rd. Heavy bag struggle evident. Followed by 2 more sites in Swampscott maternal dumpsters. Systematic scatter, defeating unified recovery. January 4 TJ Maxx. Home goods runs netted replacement towels, bath mats, men's clothing, interpreted as contaminated item swaps. No corpus delicti recovery sustained body absent homicide classification. Cause and manner inconclusive, pending remains. Digital escalation queried formaldehyde, post-dawn, 11:34 a.m. January 1st, cutting apart and best way to dispose of a body. Sequential, how to clean blood from wooden floor, luminol to detect blood. Forensic countermeasures predating search. Loran testimony crystallized Brian's emotionless poise. Preemptory alibi offers unraveling under scrutiny. These convergences met probable cause January 8th arrest for misleading and concealment. Escalating inquiry. Overall theory posits post-murder methodology. For 55 a.m. searches mid-act or immediate aftermath. Dawn bagging, January 2nd kit procurement. January 3rd dispersal racing trash cycles. Narcissistic erasure preserving facade till digital material exposures. One most haunting question. What vital fluid volume soaked basement, bags, suit, suggesting prolonged struggle or exsanguination, yet left no centralized trail for cadaver dogs. Evidentiary aggregation surpassed threshold sans body. Chronological disposal from home to incineration. Brink painting meticulous cover. Deeply. Discovery unveils mechanical brutality behind Dawn's hush. Cohasset Police Department launched digital cameras immediately post-January 4, 2023. Employer report, cross-referencing Logan International Airport manifests, rideshare databases, and Tishman Spire communications. No traces of Ana Walshe travel. DC townhouse barren sands, forced entry or occupancy signs. Ankle monitor data extraction under federal mandate detailed Brian Walsh's January 1st Swampscott maternal excursion apps Whole Foods or CVS footage. January 2nd Rockland Home Depot cash run. January 3rd dumpster circuit spanning Abbott apartment complex. Additional municipalities. Swampscott property. GPS pings timestamp heavy bag. Disposals pre-truck routes. Regional surveillance compilations verified mass glove $450 purchase of mops, brushes, buckets, tarps, Tyvek suit with boot covers and goggles, hatchet, baking soda. 5:32 p.m. street camera captured glove mass Volvo discard. Peabody transfer station sifts intercepted shredder contents, yielding 10 bags with vital fluid soaked towels, rags, rug fragments, duct tape, gloves, tarps, plus Anna's hunter boots, stained Prada handbag, necklace piece, COVID-19 vaccination card, chopping tool. Tyvek cuffs bore Brian Anna DNA mixtures, exteriors biological remnants profile to her, partial markers reliable PLAB caveats on degradation, contamination from waste compaction. January 5th residence sweep uncovered basement vital fluid pools, damaged blade residues, second blade, carpet swabbing presumably positive, dog alerts if deployed requiring material corroboration, device seizures extracted shared iPad chronology. December 27, 2022, was the best day for divorce for a man. January 1st, 4:55 a.m. onward decomposition queries, formaldehyde, 11:34 a.m. cutting apart, and best way to dispose of body, blood cleanup from wood, luminol detection, undelete trails evidencing forensic evasion research, federal records furnished priors, 2016 Andy Warhol eBay fraud with forged $240,000 invoice, $80,000 Rivlin sale, $33,400 spend down, 2021 guilty plea, bail revoke post, 2018 paternal state, loot exceeding $100,000. Dr. Thomas Walsh with disowning Brian as sociopath, prior $1 million swindles. DC 2014 threat report, archived non-prosecution. January 5th interrogation elicited Brian admissions. Serbia vacation resentment, work distance stresses, house arrest strains. No suicide or abandonment viable. Chronological fusion of pings footage. Monitor logs demolish alibi from travel myth to errand pretexts. Prosecutor secured January 13th murder indictment alongside concealment, misleading charges. Evidentiary mosaic, digital confession, material linkages, behavioral voids. Met Massachusetts bodiless homicide thresholds, circumstantial aggregation ironclad. Investigative statements affirm convergence confidence. January 8 custody formalized pro-culmination. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Overall theory reconstruct sequence. Pre-dawn act amid sleeping sons. Dawn bagging. January 2nd kit assembly. January 3rd scatter versus trash cycles. Narcissistic dependent erasing financial superior to claim $2.7 million policy. Evade sentencing shadow. One most haunting question. How did iPad queries persist uncleared on child share device, broadcasting mid-act calculus to eventual prosecutors? Deeply. Investigation methodic unraveling lays bare deception fragility against persistent data shadows. Brian Walsh, age 47 at investigation onset, crystallized as sole suspect through alibi disintegration and anomalous post-January 1, 2023, behaviors in Cohasset residents under federal home confinement, GPS ankle monitor, mandated following 2021 guilty plea to wire fraud and interstate transport stolen property, chronicled deviations. January 1st Swampscott maternal visit devoid of Whole Foods or CVS surveillance corroboration. January 2nd Rockland Home Depot mask glove, $450 cash procurement, the containment kit, mops, brushes, buckets, extra large tarps, Tyvek suit with boot covers and goggles, hatchet, 20 pounds baking soda. January 3rd, dumpster heaves at Abington Complex. Proximate sites. Swampscott property. Heavy bag straining disposal pre-collection. Digital footprint on shared family iPad pinned exclusivity. December 27, 2022. What is the best state for divorce for a man? January 1st, 4:55 a.m. How long before body starts to smell? Sequential decomposition mitigations, preservation techniques. Deceased handling queries bracketing alleged 4 to 5 a.m. exit. 11:34 a.m. Cutting apart and best way to dispose of a body. Blood cleanup from wood, luminol detection. Searches undelete. Temporally align with. Sleeping sons upstairs. She trusted her husband. It cost her life. January 4th, welfare check elicited calm, cooperative demeanor from Officer Gregory Laurent. Very calm under the circumstances. Contrasting spousal panic norms. Preemptory travel narrative contradicted by Zero Airline. Rideshare records, proximate cell pings. Timeline slippage 6 to 7 a.m. last sighting versus prior claims. Fabricate employer outreach assertions signal calculation. P-body recoveries. 10 bags yielding Anna Stain Prada handbag, hunter boots, vaccination card, necklace fragment, alongside vital fluid soaked towels, Tyvek with mixed DNA partial markers. Linked directly via ownership. Presumptive profiles despite degradation caveats. Basement vital fluid pools. Residue edge blades reinforce scene proximity. No alternative perpetrator surfaced. Exclusive dawn access. Opportunity window confined household. Federal priors illuminated pathology. 2016 Annie Warhol shadows acquisition from South Korea friend. eBay relisting with forged $240,000 invoice bearing fake Warhol Foundation numbers. $80,000 cashier's check from Revolver Galleries Ron Rivlin. Expert detecting absent authentication stamps, counterfeit substitutions. Post-sale $33,400 withdrawal spree, prompted coercion, described as masterful deceit. Initial no jail plea recommendation revoked post. 2018 paternal state embezzlement, exceeding $100,000 cash extraction. Dr. Thomas Walsh 2018 will explicitly disown son. Best wishes but nothing else, citing sociopathic traits. Prior near $1 million swindles from father. DC 2014 threat report, alleging lethal foam warnings to Ana and friend, archived after non-cooperation. Evidentiary threshold unmet yet red flag enduring. Marital interrogation admissions, Serbia vacation resentment. DC distant strains, house arrest impendence. Frame dependency on Anna's $2.7 million policy. Professional superiority inverting narcissistic hierarchy. January 8th arrest on misleading concealment. January 13th murder indictment designated formal suspect status. Behavioral passivity. Employer prompted reporting post. 72-hour silence. Epitomize foreknowledge. Overall theory posits lifelong parasitic manipulator, paternal rejectee, fraud recidivist unleashing resentment against financial lifeline Ana, premeditating erasure for policy windfall, sentencing evasion amid inverted power. One most haunting question. What paternal sociopath verdict echo compelled ankle monitor dependent to dawn calculus, transforming relational humiliation into vital fluid disposal, chronological evidence convergence, digital material locational, precluded innocence, evidentiary mosaic ironclad sans body, deeply, identification unveils predator cloaked in polished stasis, betrayals architecture laid bare. Norfolk Superior Court proceedings convened October 2025 in Dedham, Massachusetts, with Brian Walsh entering guilty pleas prior to jury selection on charges of improper disposal of human remains and misleading investigators, while contesting first-degree murder indictment secured January 13, 2023. Prosecution methodically unspooled evidentiary tapestry across 12 trial days. Federal GPS ankle monitor logs chronicling January 1st Swampscott deviations. January 2nd Rockland Home Depot surveillance of mask-gloved $450 cash acquisition. Mops, industrial brushes, buckets, extra-large tarps, white Tyvek suit inclusive of boot covers and goggles, hatchet, 20 pounds baking soda. January 3rd dumpster circuits at Abington apartment complex. Additional municipal sites. Swampscott maternal property. Time-stamped heavy bag heaves pre-collection trucks. Peabody transfer station recoveries dominated. 10 garbage bags intercepted pre-shredder yielding vital fluid saturated towels, rags, area rug fragments, duct tape segments, blue gloves, plastic tarp remnants, Ana Walshe's hunter boots, heavily stained Prada handbag, necklace portion, COVID-19 vaccination card with her name, chopping tool, Tyvek suit interior wrists and arm cuffs, profiled mixed Brian-Ana DNA partial markers, exterior biological remnants, presumably sourced to her despite forensic service notations on degradation risks, contamination from waste compaction, inability to establish unique matches absent full standards. Cohasset basement searches January 5 documented vital fluid pools, damaged blade edge with residue, second intact blade nearby. Lab analyses confirming human origin, partial profiles aligning temporally though qualified by sample quality. Shared family iPad searches anchored digital confession. December 27, 2022, was the best day for divorce for a man. January 1st, 4:55 a.m., how long before body starts to smell? Sequential 4:58 a.m. decomposition slowdown queries. 5:20 a.m. preservation techniques for human remains. 5:47 a.m. deceased handling options. Escalating to 11:34 a.m., cutting apart and best way to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from wooden floor. Luminol to detect blood. Undelete trails evidencing mid-act forensic countermeasures research. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Defense contested body absence as corpus delicti void, posited innocuous explanations for purchases as home maintenance, searches as true crime curiosity, DNA partials as inconclusive familial transfers, prior art fraud convictions, 2016 Andy Warhol eBay forgery with fake $240,000 invoice, $80,000 Rivlin transaction, paternal estate loot post, 2018 disinheritance, admitted limitedly to illustrate pattern without prejudice. Officer Gregory Lauron testified Brian's January 4th welfare check demeanor as very calm under the circumstances. Anomalous passivity post, 72-hour employer prompted report. Jury deliberations post December 14 closing arguments yielded first-degree murder guilty verdict December 15, 2025. Sentencing December 18 to impose life imprisonment without parole. Judge deeming acts barbaric, in official statement. Automatic appeal docketed to Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. Success probability diminished absent novel exculpations. Evidentiary threshold surpassed Massachusetts bodiless homicide precedents via circumstantial convergence. Digital playbook, material linkages, locational precision. Overall theory crystallizes narcissistic sociopath, per paternal codicil, executing premeditated erasure financial superior Ana for $2.7 million policy windfall, sentencing evasion, relational inversion redress, Dawn Act amid sleeping sons, alibi fabrication, 48-hour disposal frenzy versus trash cycles. One most haunting question: how did undelete iPad queries on child share device? For 55 a.m. corpse odor onset to luminol defeats, survive frantic cover, handing prosecutors make confession playbook. Deeply. Conviction unveils digital hubris dooming calculated betrayal. Justice threading data's unerring needle. Brian Walsh transferred immediately post-sentencing December 18, 2025, to Massachusetts State Correctional Custody under life imprisonment, without possibility of parole. Housed in high-security facility per Department Corrections protocols following Norfolk Superior Court first-degree murder conviction. Automatic appeal filed to Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court under state statute. Docketed early 2026 with low projected success absent demonstrable evidentiary reversals or procedural defects, given circumstantial aggregation surpassing bodiless homicide precedents. Ana Walshe's family, primarily Serbian-based with U.S. representatives attending trial, issued public statements via media outlets expressing partial closure yet enduring grief over unresolved remains location, advocating for continued search efforts despite incineration losses at Peabody Transfer Station. 3 young sons, aged approximately 8, 5, and 3 by January 2026, placed under protective guardianship arrangements sealed from public record, relocated from Cohasset residence amid community introspection on domestic facade vulnerabilities. Life insurance policy contention emerged. $2.7 million Tishman Spire executive benefit, with Brian designated sole beneficiary, contested through civil probate proceedings. Conviction rendering payout eligibility uncertain under Massachusetts Slayer statute, exclusions barring felonious killers from estates. Cohasset suburb, emblematic of affluent New England exclusivity with seven-figure median homes, reckoned collectively via town forums and local reporting on overlooked predator signals in Paula's households, prompting informal safety audits and neighborhood vigilance enhancements. Media retrospectives recapped evidentiary mosaic, iPad digital playbook from December 27 divorce queries to January 1, 4:55 a.m. corpse odor onset, Home Depot containment kit surveillance, Peabody bag recoveries with stained Prada handbag, Hunter boots, Tyvek DNA partial markers, affirming prosecutorial confidence sans corpus delicti, Peabody waste facility protocols underwent administrative review post-interception successes, refining shredder access timelines for future law enforcement liaisons. No remains recovery sustained precise cause and manner determinations as inconclusive. Forensic service caveats on degradation qualified partial profiles, persisting in archival records. Federal art fraud aftermath lingered. 2016 Warhol eBay forgery sentence finalized post-bail violation via paternal state embezzlement, exceeding $100,000. Dr. Thomas Walsh disinheritance codicil. Best wishes but nothing else. Vindicated through son's murder verdict echoing sociopathic descriptors. DC 2014 threat report. Dropped via Anna's non-cooperation. Resurfaced in appellate briefs as pattern evidence. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Overall theory solidifies lifelong manipulator's narcissistic culmination. Fraud recidivist, paternal rejectee, ankle monitor dependent unleashing pre-dawn rage against Anna's financial professional superiority. Methodically bagging dawn disposals. Can assembling January 2nd. Scattering January 3rd versus trash trucks. $2.7 million policy phantom windfall forwarded by digital hubris. Sensing shadow eclipsed by life term. One most haunting question. Where precisely did incinerated Peabody contents? 10 bags heavy with vital fluid towels, Anna's vaccination card, chopping tool, conceal her remains, forever denying family dignified burial? Chronological post-verdict ripples, extended guardianship permanency, policy forfeitures, community reckonings, appeal formalities into 2026 stasis. Evidentiary finality met legal closure bar personal voids, partial DNA markers presumptive sourcing unassailable despite contamination notations. Deeply, aftermath etches betrayals enduring fractures across custody bars, probate courts, silent graves unseen, justice partial mid unresolved ashes. Circumstantial evidentiary convergence. Federal GPS ankle monitor logs, regional surveillance footage, Peabody transfer station recoveries, shared iPad digital searches, Cohasset basement traces. Sustained Brian Walsh's December 15, 2025, first-degree murder conviction under Massachusetts bodiless homicide jurisprudence, life sentence without parole affirmed December 18, absent corpus delicti recovery. December 27, 2022, divorce state inquiries escalated to January 1, 4:55 a.m. How long before a body starts to smell? Sequential decomposition mitigations, human remains preservation, deceased handling protocols. Timestamp middle edge 4 to 5 a.m. exit window, bridge by 11:34 a.m. cutting apart and best way to dispose of a body. Blood cleanup from wooden floors, luminol detection countermeasures. Delete on child shared device. January 2nd Rockland Home Depot mask glove, $450 cash kit. Mops, tarps, Tyvek suit, hatchet, baking soda. Fed January 3rd dumpster scatters at Abington. Complex, Swampscott maternal site. Intercepted bags yielding Anna stained Prada handbag, Hunter boots, COVID-19 vaccination card. Necklace fragment, vital fluid soaked towels with partial DNA markers presumptively sourced despite degradation. Contamination caveats from waste processing. Basement vital fluid pools, residue edge blades reinforced temporal alignment. Forensic service notations qualifying unique matches unestablished yet probabilistic linkages ironclad. She trusted her husband, it cost her life. Officer Gregory Lawrence January 4th welfare check testimony. Very calm under the circumstances. Crystallized anomalous passivity. Employer prompted reporting post. 72-hour silence. Timeline slippages from fabricated travel alibi demolished by absent airline. Rideshare records, proximate cell pings. Federal priors. 2016 Andy Warhol eBay forgery with forged $240,000 invoice. $80,000 Rivlin coercion, paternal estate loot exceeding $100,000 post. 2018 disinheritance codicil, decrying sociopathy. Frame pathological parasitic dependency on Ana's $2.7 million policy. Professional superiority, inverting narcissistic hierarchy. DC 2014 threat report. Evidentiary threshold unmet via non-cooperation. Echoed in Merrill strains over Serbia vacation. DC commute. House arrest impendence. Automatic appeal to Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court lingers into 2026. Probability suggests denial absent novel exculpations. Guardianship seals for sons enduring. Policy forfeitures under Slayer statutes. Cohasset reckonings on facade fractures persisting. Remains unresolved facets. Precise dawn timing. Incinerated contents full scope. Motives terminal spark. Likely to remain indeterminate without physical evidence resurfacing. Peabody shredder losses precluding dignified closure. Overall theory posits calculated narcissistic sociopath. Lifelong fraud recidivism paternal rejectee. Premeditating pre-dawn execution amidst sleeping children. Dawn bagging. 48-hour disposal frenzy versus trash cycles. Erasing financial lifeline for phantom windfall. Sensing evasion. Relational humiliation redress. Digital hubris and monitor precision dooming meticulous cover. One most haunting question. What exact rejection? Whispered policy dispute. Freedom denial. Ignited for 55 AM corpse odor calculus. Transforming inverted dependency into vital fluid segmentation. Evidentiary thresholds met. Legal finality contrasts personal voids. Family grief sand burial. Community vigilance sharpened. Appellate formalities trailing into stasis. Probabilities suggest conviction permanence, yet ashes secrets endure. Forensic partial presumptive sourcing unyielding against contamination notations. Deeply, this saga indicts betrayal's architecture. Polished lies veiling mechanical brutality. Data shadows piercing calculated erasures. Justice threading partial closure amid unseen graves. In my opinion, profoundly, Walshe's unrepentant pattern, from Warhol deceit to paternal swindles to Ana's erasure, exposes predatory essence thriving on superiority's humiliation, a chilling testament to unchecked sociopathy devouring trust's fragile core, where digital folly redeems irreversible fracture.